This is a special edition of Late Night Health. I am joined once again by our friend, Dr. Jacob Teitelbaum. Let me tell you a little bit about him. He's written a bunch of books. You have no idea. Board certified internist. How many books have you written total?
Just finished my 10th.
Your which?
Just finished my 10th book.
Your 10th book.
It's the next edition of From Fatigue to Fantastic.
And it's taken me 10 years. He's been on Good Morning America, the Dr. Oz Show, Oprah and Friends, CNN, and of course is on Late Night Health, boosting him up all the way to the very top. Doctor, welcome. Welcome back to Late Night Health. We're going to spend some time talking about fibromyalgia. What is fibromyalgia?
Fibromyalgia is an energy crisis where your body is spending more energy than it's able to make. And when that happens, you trip a circuit breaker in the brain called the hypothalamus. It's right about here in the middle of the forehead. And it controls sleep, so you can't sleep. Hormonal functions, so the hormones go down across the board despite normal tests. It controls sweating and blood pressure, so people often have low blood pressure. And so it controls multiple functions, and then also the immune system goes down with that. So basically an energy crisis, and the way that you tell that you have it, if you have the paradox of you can't sleep even though you're exhausted, you have severe insomnia despite exhaustion, you've got this process of chronic fatigue syndrome. And if you also ache all over in 4 or 5 different parts of your body, then you have fibromyalgia. Most people, it's the same thing.
Is this one of those diseases that many allopathic doctors either discount or misdiagnose?
Only 91% of them. It's they've actually done studies where anywhere from 9 to 15% of people who had it got the correct diagnosis, and the rest, the doctors in essence said, I don't know what's wrong with you, so you're crazy, which is abusive and totally unacceptable. And they say it's the same thing. If you look at multiple sclerosis, I remember when I was in medical school reading the scientific literature from 100 years before, and they called multiple sclerosis hysterical paralysis.
Oh my.
And it's kind of what they're doing now. It's, and then they realize, oh, here's a test for it, and they said, oh, no longer hysterical paralysis, we have this disease. We've done the same with lupus, rheumatoid arthritis. All of these were considered basically neuroses. And what these all have in common is their immune system, immune illnesses, which affect predominantly women.
I guess they're called autoimmune diseases?
And they're immune. They're diseases of the immune system, and immune illnesses affect predominantly women. So, yeah. So if the doctor comes, you go to the doctor's office, and you're with your family, and they kind of imply to you, I don't know what's wrong with you, you're crazy. If they say, I don't know what's wrong with you, I'm sorry, that's a good, honest thing. But if they imply, well, here's some Prozac, and see a psychiatrist, what I recommend is stand up, walk over to the man, or woman, look at them in the eye and say, thank you so much for letting me know what a complete and utter idiot you are right away, so I don't waste my time on you. Collect your family member, turn around, and walk out the door. That kind of abusive behavior on the part of doctors is no longer acceptable. But you'll find if you go to a holistic physician, they're far more familiar with fibromyalgia. I've treated thousands of people over more than 40 years now. We treat people from all over the world, and that can often be done by phone. Many people are too ill to or don't want to travel.
And right now people aren't traveling.
It's there's time. Now's not a good time for travel anyway, but we literally treat people worldwide, and because it's a biochemical disease, most people have had a physical exam by the local doctor in the last year or two, so they're fine. It's a complex, very fun illness to treat because it's not, oh, your blood sugar's up, here's insulin. It's not that kind of thing. You have to treat the whole process and the whole person, but routinely people get well.
You said something, you call yourself an integrative physician.
I call myself a good doctor.
A good doctor. Gotcha. Okay.
I just use all of the science, not just what's spoon-fed me by the drug companies is most profitable.
Right, but at the same time, would you consider yourself, to me, holistic? because holistic means you're treating everything.
Comprehensive medicine is
Comprehensive medicine. So it
yes.
is, yeah.
Body, mind, spirit, natural, prescription, whatever the science and common sense dictates.
And by the way, I guess the name of your book on this is which one?
Well, I
You have
have
several.
Well, I've got a bunch of books. For fibromyalgia, there's the fatigue and fibromyalgia solution is what I would get until September of 2020. But then the new edition of From Fatigue Fantastic is coming out in September of 2020. I've just finished it and it's off to the press and it's Penguin Avery, and it is amazing. It is There's so much that has changed since the last edition 12 years ago. It's a totally different book. But anybody who has that, read From Fatigue Fantastic. But wait till September, get that one. But if you want an easier,
We're going to
simpler
have you
read,
back just as the book breaks, okay?
that sounds awesome to me.
Okay, good. All right. What are some of the symptoms, some of the other symptoms? I mean, uh, right now, we hear of people, both men and women, walking around saying, I couldn't sleep last night. Um, you know, the news is bad. The pandemic of COVID-19, which you and I have discussed already. Uh, I mean, life in general, you worry about your kids, your bills, your mortgage, your life. Uh, and they walk around exhausted and tired.
Yep. So for those who have day-to-day fatigue, the way you tell is go on vacation for a week and get plenty of sleep. And if your fatigue and pain go away, then that's not fibromyalgia. If there's no difference after a week's vacation and still there and it's been lasting more than 3 months, then you should be treated as if it is that, because whether or not you meet the strict criteria, people still respond to the SHINE protocol. And our study, we've actually published a number of studies, including randomized double-blind placebo-controlled study, that showed that 91% of people uh, get an average 90% increase in quality of life by using what we call the SHINE protocol. It's funny, I used to call it the SHIN protocol, which, being Jewish, that's one of the letters of the alphabet, made some kind of sense to me. But when I was on with Dr.
It
Oz,
looks, by the way, a shin looks like a W. Depends
yeah.
on there are dots on it, and it's either a shin or I can't
Uh-huh.
remember. My
So,
bar mitzvah Hebrew is.
but they're doing good. I like that, you know. So, but when I went on with Dr. Oz, and he's a friend of mine, and he basically said, "This is all well and good, but prove it." He's had somebody who wrote, who was a lieutenant in the army, who said, "I'm crippled, I can't do anything." He said, "Get her well." And a month later, she was well. He said, "Now you can come on the show."
Wow.
But she went ahead and she said, "No, you've got to add exercise as able to Shin." So she turned Shin into Shine. So it's now the Shine protocol: sleep, hormones, infections, nutritional support, and exercise as able. That doesn't mean going out and exercise a lot so you're bedridden for 3 days. It means just enough to maintain conditioning as you're able.
And I've
Um,
got another thing on shine. The
mhm.
sun, being outside in the sun,
That doesn't sunshine is good for you.
right?
I can only imagine, you know. I remember when I was a kid, I went in the Museum of Natural History with my mom. I was probably 6 years old, and they were, had the skull of an Inca that had a hole cut out, and I said, and the Incans cut holes in the skulls to let out evil spirits. And I was looking at my mom. I said, tugging on her dress, Mom, are they crazy? And she said, uh-huh. And I can picture like 100 years from now, they're going to have museums of today's medicine where they're going to show doctors saying, avoid sun, is bad for you. And I can just imagine the little kid tugging on the mommy's dress saying, Mommy, were they crazy? Uh-huh. So
Yeah.
anyway, back to treatment. It's so first of all, for those of you with day-to-day fatigue, I'm going to give you two simple things you can do that will rock your world. Number one, there's a vitamin powder called the Energy Revitalization System. Write that down, the Energy Revitalization System vitamin powder. 1/2 to 1 scoop a day. 1 scoop a day replaces literally over 35 pills. Most people take 60 pills a day to get what's in the one drink. And you can get it for 50 cents to a buck a day. It's not expensive. And then the second thing is Shine Ribose. This is a special energy nutrient. I've published 2 studies on it now showing that it increases energy an average of 61%. Now picture what 61% more energy. And in mid-May, we should have something called the smart energy system, which actually includes the ribose, and it has ashwagandha, rhodiola, green tea, licorice. It just has a whole bunch of stuff in it that's going to be so in time. The energy revitalization system and the smart energy system, including ribose, that you can get that all in one drink and 2 pills each morning, will rock your world. Energy will go up. You'll find pain will decrease. Um, Cognitive function improves, libido increased in the studies with using these, sexual function in general for both men and women increased,
I'm,
skin
I'm
look
sending
younger,
I'm sending you my
people,
money right now, just on that
people
latest
lose
pillow.
weight, and it blows my mind. I don't like talking about stuff, weight loss and hair growth. No, but what the research is showing, that these are amazing as a mix. And you will find in 1 month after doing it, it will literally rock your world. And most people, it'll just about double their energy with this combination. And the whole thing is not expensive.
Wow.
It's really pretty low cost. So
Well,
the
that's a good thing, and let's mention that again later on as we when we wrap up our time together. Um, the the how debilitating is fibromyalgia?
You can have the walking wounded where some people are still able to work, but that's really all they can do. I mean, they have no life except struggling to work and hoping they don't get fired because they're incompetent, because their brain's not working, they have no energy, all the way to people being bedbound. About 20% of people are housebound with it. And in that subset, it's really fun to treat all of them because they get better with treatment. Um, but you'll see autonomic dysfunction, what's called orthostatic intolerance, POTS, there's a bunch of names for it, blah, blah, blah. But there's a simple 1 minute quiz, and people can email me. Um, you know, and there's a quiz for POTS I can send them. It's free, and I can even send them questionnaires and checklists that I
Can they do
supply
that
for the
by going to
doctors.
your website? Is that the easiest thing?
If they, yeah, they can. There's questions they can ask questions on the website, or they can email me at fatigue, FATIGUE, doc, at gmail.com. So fatiguedoc at gmail.com, and just ask for the questionnaires. And I can just cut and paste them over, and they'll have but the orthostatic intolerance, that's like say 1 minute quiz will tell if you got it, and then it's a list of here's how you treat it. These are the medications that can be helpful: increasing salt, water, compression stockings. It's just all, we've made this really simple for people, and it's your doctors, some are familiar. Cardiologists may recognize it. Most doctors wouldn't know parts of it hidden on the head, just as a disease. So these simple things. So, but let's go through, Mark, in terms of shine. So kind of run through that kind of quickly, because here are the key things you need to focus on. S is for sleep, and you can't sleep because the sleep center in the hypothalamus isn't working. So they're mixed of natural things. There's the revitalizing sleep formula, terrific. ZZZZ is two herbal mixes I like. Marijuana, for those who like it in the evening, or CBD and whole hemp oil is very helpful, but brand really matters because there's a lot of quality issues. I
Yeah.
like hemp select. 3 to 5 capsules at bedtime for sleep. Medications, Ambien, even though it has its issues, is one of the few medicines that initiates sleep and can be very helpful in this process.
What
Uh,
about there with Ambien? Actually, Roseanne blamed being kicked off of her own show on Ambien, if you remember that last year.
I don't remember that, but on the other hand, it's best not to take it before going on the air.
Yeah,
Uh,
I understand that people who take it, it's a small percentage, can do things like get up, go to Denny's, order a dinner at 3 in the
they,
morning,
they can sleepwalk, sleep eat, um,
sleep drive.
and they sometimes do other things that are much more fun for the people around them than themselves too. You're looking at about 1 in 1,000 to 1 in 100 that have that. So those who have that, I haven't stopped it, but it's extraordinarily rare in the people that I've treated.
And how would you know if you were up at 3 in the morning if you were single?
Well, because you see the wrapper from all the food.
Oh,
You tend
all
to
right.
eat, but you don't put the stuff away.
Okay. Yeah, unless you have what, OCD. Anyway, yeah,
Even with
I
OCD,
digress.
because I have a friend with OCD who does sleep binging on
Yeah.
Ambien. So yeah, no,
But does he clean up
he
afterwards?
doesn't clean up after himself.
No. All right. Good. I've
So
got. I have it. I have a perfect marriage because
uh-huh.
I'll do the cooking and the messing up, and my wife cleans up. It works really well.
There you go.
It
Okay.
does. It
So
does.
there are a number of things for sleep. Hormones. Let me just quick think here, Mark, 'cause I know we're running out of time. Thyroid. If you're tired, achy, weight gain, cold intolerant, you need thyroid no matter what your blood tests show. If you get irritable and hungry, you need adrenal support. Adrenoplex is excellent for that. If your symptoms are worse around your menses, you need bioidentical hormone. For infections, candida, there are hundreds of infections, viruses, blah, blah. Main one, nasal congestion, sinusitis, postnasal drip, candida. Nutritional support, we talked about the vitamin powder and the ribose, and there's others, but those are the two key ones. And then exercises. Well, how's that for a quick 2 minute bam,
You got it. And the ribose, is that not a tea?
No, ribose is actually a special sugar, and most of the time sugar is horrible for people with this illness. It aggravates the candida and hypoglycemia. But the ribose is actually made by our body. It's the backbone of energy production. It's kind of like the paper that our energy dollars are printed on. And it's one of the things that in the energy crisis, uh, one of the causes of the energy crisis is that the body is low on ribose. And that's why we're stunned to see the average 61% increase in energy in our studies.
Wow. What about somebody uh, who doesn't have fibromyalgia but wants more energy
Mhm.
because they need to work longer,
Yep.
um, and they take they drink one of the energy drinks.
Yep.
180 milligrams of caffeine keep me up for a month.
Oh, you mean the energy loan shark drinks? Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
As opposed to healthy energy or smart energy drinks. So
right.
here's the thing, Mark, very simple thing. If for most anybody, the energy revitalization system, vitamin powder, and either the sign ribose or come mid-May instead, this smart energy system. Energy revitalization system, smart energy system, those two together, most people will find their healthy energy is turbocharged. Make time to sleep 8 hours a night. Use some of the herbals we talked about to help the sleep if you need it, and go for walks in the sunshine. You do those three things, and I'm going to add one more thing. Go through the things where you spend your energy in life. Make a list of things you do, and have two columns: things that feel good, things that don't feel good, and fill in those columns. And the things that are don't feel good, put a star by the things that you're going to get arrested or homeless if you don't do, and move those to the left-hand column for now. All the rest of the stuff that don't feel good, chuck it,
Oh,
and
don't
you'll
pay.
find your energy will skyrocket. All
Don't
those
pay bills.
meetings that you should go to,
Right. Out.
watching the news that makes you grind your teeth and misinforms you.
Let's talk about sleep, because the I've talked to a number of sleep experts, uh,
Hmm.
and they're telling me that 8 to 9 hours a day. What I I how do I do that?
Well, first of all, remember that the average night's sleep in the United States till light bulbs were invented 140 years ago was 9 hours a night. That was average. And if you go back thousands of years, medical anthropologists tell us it was 11 hours a night. It's just to give perspective.
Sure.
So, number one, how do you make time for sleep? Well, that little exercise of making the list of things that feel good and things that don't feel bad. I used to be the chairman of the board and on the boards of literally a good dozen organizations. And I drag my sorry ass home at night at 11 most nights. And my wife would look at me and say, "How was it?" I said, "Horrible. It was utter waste of time." She said, "Why do you do it? Is it doing some great social function?" I said, "No, they're wasting everybody's energy." And when she said that, "Why do you do it?" It's like a light bulb went off my head. I resigned every one of them except I was starting a new school and I was the chairman of the board and chief of fundraising that I loved. I kept out all the other ones, as I said, before I chucked them. And all this time that I had, I stopped watching the news and I realized it was a toxic fiction. Took that for sleep. So all these things, you get rid of the things you don't enjoy and you sleep, and then you feel so much better the next day anyway. you'll find the time. And then if you have trouble falling asleep, the Revitalizing Sleep Formula or Terrific Z's, either of those two will leave most people sleeping like kittens.
And how much should you get? I mean, I probably average 6.5 hours a night. Is
Hmm.
that enough?
Well, Mark, that's kind of like saying what size shoe is best for everybody.
8.5, narrow.
Yeah, and then I have a size 12 foot. That's not going to work so well.
No,
So here's the thing: take a weekend or two where you don't have to be up the next day. Don't set the alarm clock and see how long you naturally sleep in. And make a little note to yourself, okay, I slept 8 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours, and see how you feel the next day. So do that for a couple of days, especially now if you're on lockdown. Perfect time to do it. Do that for a couple of days and see how many hours leaves you feeling the best. That's the size shoe that fits you. That's how many hours you need. Because it's going to vary from person to person. If you feel great on 6 hours, you're good. A lot of people need 9, and it just really varies.
but
So see what feels the best to you.
but sleep is important, and it does affect your fatigue index, if you will. If you don't
Inadequate,
get enough, you're tired.
well, it's not just tired. You're going to be brain fogged. You're going to gain an average 6.5 pounds if you don't get enough sleep. You're going to be immune suppressed and you're going to be in pain. It's not just about energy. Sleep is critical for our body to recharge the systems and go through the healing process from the little micro tears and other micro injuries of the day.
Wow. I know sleep is important, of course, and but it's, my father used to say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Well,
Well, but the thing is, he said that because he was doing stuff at the time that he loved, which is
yes,
perfect. As long as it's feeling good to be doing what he's doing and it's working for him, God bless. But if he was going and saying, "Oh, I have no energy. I'm hurting all the time. My brain is not working. I'm, want to try to get some more sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead." That's a different thing. Then I'm loving life. I'm not going to take. I'm going to be doing this. I'm not going to take time for sleep. In which case, you're good.
got it. In our remaining couple of minutes, we've been talking quite a bit here. What would you recommend for people in general who have fibromyalgia, pain, and fatigue?
Hmm. Number one, the if you go on our website at vitality101.com, you'll see step 3. There's a free. I actually, because my new patient, when I'm seeing a new consult, it's 3 hours of my one-on-one time. That it takes me to properly assess their case and put together the treatment protocol. Um, Not everybody can afford. I mean, I'm a great value, but I'm not cheap. And
Right.
um, but like I said, people call. And I treat people all over the world with this. Um, but not everybody can afford to do that. A lot of people are financially devastated. So I actually hold a U.S. patent for the first U.S. patent for computerized physicians. That's my patent. I have that
Fine.
because I made it for people with fibromyalgia and CFS. Um, we put it online and we used to charge $400, but we told people that, well, if you can't afford it, we'll let you do it for free. And 80% of people wrote back were financially devastated, And so my wife and I made the decision. We just made it available free for everybody. So if you go on Vitality 101, there's a
That,
quiz.
by the way, not only is that great, you're following in the lines of Jonas Salk and Saban. They never patented their vaccines.
Well, I'll tell you, I put in a patent for the Shine protocol purposely and then abandoned the patent to make sure nobody could ever patent it. The idea of patenting medical information is grotesque to me.
Oh,
I
it is.
find that I find it horrific. So I did that to make sure nobody could ever patent any part of that protocol. So it'll be available. But you can go on vitality101.com. You'll see step 3. Click on that. You'll see the energy analysis program. It's a 15-minute quiz. You don't need to have the blood work, but if you have blood testing, it'll analyze the pertinent tests, and it'll go through and see what's causing your energy drain, your energy crisis, because there are literally hundreds of things that can do that. It'll say, okay, in your case, these are the key things contributing to the energy crisis, and these are how you address them. What natural and prescription things can help optimize energy. So this way, it's part of my goal of making effective treatment available for everybody. This way people can get started on their own or even with their own physicians.
Dr. Teitelbaum, will you come back?
I love to. And can I give a quick thing for pain?
Oh,
Those
sure.
with chronic pain, there's herbal pain relief miracle called Curamin, Curamin. It's just awesome. And then hemp select hemp oil. These things are really good. And if I mind if I give my website?
No,
Uh,
please.
you can get these supplements I'm talking about pretty much anywhere. But if you would like to support the work that I do, my website is www.end, N like Nancy, D like David, uh, fatigue, fatigue.com. And we appreciate your supporting our work.
So endfatigue.com is the place to reach out and find out more information, and you can find out about the energy revitalization there and much, much more. Doctor, thank you very much. Dr. Teitelbaum will be back. He
Okay.
will be back. I'll have to
Uh,
drag him in, but he will come back and talk to us again.
I
Uh,
love that. Can I clarify one quick thing? The end fatigue is where we sell supplements.
oh, I'm sorry.
Vitality101.com is where to go for information.
Got
We
it.
don't
All right.
we separate those two.
Gotcha. We'll have both of those up here on our screen for you. I'm Mark Allen. You can find us at latenighthealth.com and many, many other places. You can find us on facebook.com/late night health radio. LinkedIn is Mark Allen, MarkAlyn. And wherever good podcasting networks and providers are, we are usually there, from Spreaker to iTunes and Apple Podcasts and Google Play, iHeart. Just it goes on and on and on. Again, Doctor, very informative. Thank you for spending some time with us. We really, really appreciate it. Hold on. I'm Mark Allen. We'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.